So what an absolutely gorgeous day. Hardly very many clouds in the sky. And I'm glad I waited to drive the Sawtooth byway. Now that I'm on level ground again and I'm gonna be going around a lot of turns, I need to reconnect my sway bars. So I pulled over here, and it's a Sunday, so hopefully the traffic will start to die down this evening and I can find a nice quiet spot tonight to call home. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be staying the night in the Sawtooth Mountains or not, but just in case, stop by the ranger station, pick me up a map. Also downloaded it on my phone, but there look to be some cool roads. If I see anything in the distance and that's usually how I find stuff, I'll see like a road up somewhere in a distance and then try to figure out how to get there, especially if it's in high ground. So if I see something that looks interesting, then maybe, and I've got in my mind a couple of forest road numbers that look like they were in the mountain area and not down in the lowlands. So we'll see what happens. I might end up just driving all the way through, but just wing it like I always do. So while I was on the 75 on Sawtooth Pass, I like the mountain ranges to my right, and I tried to find a road that sort of went to them and maybe even up part of them. Since I don't have satellite, I can't see any topography on the map. Everything's just flat. So I decided to take 315, and it's heading towards the mountain range. I'm not sure how far I'll get, but got a full tank of gas, and I'd love to get up towards some higher elevation on some of these mountains and check out the views. And there's snow up there too. So, but this goes for, I don't know, a couple of miles maybe, and I can see them right there in the distance. I know the tops of the mountains are at least 10 miles away, if not longer. So we'll see where this ends up. Well, the path ended up leading me to a trailhead where just a few minutes ago there were a lot more people here. Some of them are going to a creek and others are hiking. So I decided, I made it all the way back here. There's really pretty mountains in the distance on the other side there. And I said I wasn't going to hike, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, Emojing Lake is 7 miles in, 7 miles out, and see how far I make it. But you got to fill out a wilderness permit on the way, and I already did that, so now it's just a matter of getting on the trails. Got everything packed up, Jeep's locked up, I'm gonna head out. So I'm about a mile and a half in, and it's pretty much a walk in the park at this point in time. Even got this nice little bridge set up to go over, and not sure how far to the first lake, but it's a really easy walk so far. But it is definitely a hot day, so once I hit any kind of elevation and switchbacks, I'm going to be sweating it up pretty bad. But it's still gorgeous outside. A few more clouds, but not too bad. Once I get to this lake, I'll figure out how far I'm going to go, but it is super easy at this point in time. Just a few obstacles to get around, but I mean, you're pretty much looking at flat surfaces, very little elevation. So far so good. Maybe I'll have energy to do the whole thing when I get there. 2.8 miles to the first lake and about 50 something minutes. But check that out. That is probably one of my most favorite mountain ranges. That is just so cool. I'm going to continue up towards Emojing and just see if well, how bad it gets and whether or not I want to go all the way. This is just absolutely amazing. It's worth hiking the 3 miles back here. Like I said, it's pretty simple just to have lunch. The water's so clear. I'm getting there. It is really pretty along most of the way. Some of it's just through woods, and I hate that kind of hiking, but coming across stuff like this makes it worth it. And there's the other mountaintop that I was heading towards for a while. And I'm thirsty. I've got my life straw. I've still got water with me, but I really want to drink this water. So if I've got a baggie, I'm getting out my life straw and I'm going to drink some of this. Works really well. And the water's a lot warmer than I thought it would be. There's a little bit of debris in there, but the life straw works great. I pulled out a brand new one because my other one just seemed like it took so much effort to get the water through. This one's working really well, but still tastes refreshing, and I'll save some of the water that I got in my backpack. But I'm going to enjoy this for a few minutes and then keep moving. Well, came across first patch of snow. That's kind of cool. Can really only see that in the distance way up, so I guess this is way up. 6 miles in. Well, it says 6.3, but you can never tell with switchbacks. But I'm glad it wasn't 7.5 like the lady said. But here it is. Got my first glimpse of it. The sun's still pretty high in the sky. I'm gonna chill out here for sure. Brought an MRE, have something to eat, get some fuel for the way back. And holy cow, look at all this snow around it too. This is awesome. I just checked and it's about 8,500 feet. So I have no idea what elevation I started from. But wow. This is pretty cool. I haven't seen anybody since the first lake. It's definitely cooler here, that's for sure. I think once I cool off, it's gonna definitely feel a little bit chilly. I'm gonna go walk on that side because that's an island over there. There's no way to get to it, I don't think, but we'll find out. That is so neat. The water is so blue. Just amazing. Even on the trail, right where I'm walking, there's a little bit of snow. Some there and even some down there. It's probably not going to last more than another day or two, but still cool that I was able to find a little bit up here in the Sawtooth Mountains, and then I got that high. And I see some boulders out there, so maybe I can climb up on those and have my dinner before I head back. So it was 2 hours on the way in. I'll probably walk a little bit slower on the way out, so probably about 2.5 on the way out. So I'll definitely be back before the sun sets. Now that is a pretty view. So I decided that this is going to be my eating on rock and not go out there to that area there, because the little islands there are going to block my view. And where I'm at now, I can see all of this. Look at that water. It is, I don't know how deep it is there, but you can see clear to the bottom. It's pretty deep too. And then all of this and all of that. Wow, definitely worth the hike. So I've seen a lot of beautiful things and a lot of great scenery on this trip, but only a few of those moments can I say is like actually surreal. And this is one of those moments. I mean, to be out here alone, about to have something to eat with that view and the quiet of just the wind, maybe a bird every now and then, and the clear blue. Somewhat, now that the sun's gone down, it's turned into more of a little bit of a green, but just the colors are spectacular. All right, so enjoyed my time. Now it's time to head out. Alright, so I'm about a mile from the trailhead, and it's already 7:30. So I should knock this out in about 2.5 hours. I kind of took my time, taking some video on the way back and chilling out and enjoying the scenery, since I probably won't do any hikes tomorrow and just drive the rest or find some off-roads to take and do stuff with the Jeep, because after 13 miles I know I'm going to be pretty tired tomorrow, so it's going to have to be something pretty amazing if I end up taking a hike. But that was cool. For somebody who does not like hiking at all, that was a pretty simple trail overall. Nothing too rigorous, not like Yosemite or anything like that. And the views were amazing, so it was definitely worth it. I kind of got lucky, stumbled on it like I do a lot of things. I had no intention of doing this whatsoever, but it worked out. I'm glad it did. So I'm going to retire in the Jeep and call it a night, and then start fresh tomorrow. I hardly made it. I only actually probably about 10 miles on the Sawtooth byway, so I've got a long way to go, so I'm really looking forward to the scenery tomorrow. And most of the snow's starting to melt off the mountains, so now's the perfect time to do it, to get some of those snow in the shot. So I'm glad I ended up doing this when I did. So that's pretty much it for the day.